Is it breaking and entering, or just a really dedicated friend? Written by Quote with Hope and read by Eleanor Elizabeth. Notes. Day 16. Did you break into my dorm? You refused to put up any Christmas decorations. What choice did I have? Izuku paced around his dorm like a man on a mission, because he was a man on a mission. Operation Hitoshi Needs More Christmas Spirit, or HNMCS for short. Izuku, Todoroki, and Ochako had noticed the lack of holiday spirit their friend had shown in all of their class festivities, and, of course, that just won't do. But what can you do when the guy won't let anyone hang out in his room? You break in, of course. So, with a large bag of lights and a ton of stupid Christmas-themed knickknacks, the trio stood outside Hitoshi's door, attempting to pick the lock. Maybe we can just burn down the door? I mean, we have a lighter, and he can even replace it. Ochako had made herself busy by coming up with other solutions in case the lock-picking was a bust. No, the smoke detectors will go off. Todoroki, on the other hand, had been pointing out flaws in each one, scrolling through his phone to pass the time. Todoroki, Ochako, I love the spirit, but this is a secret mission, so tone it down. Izuku looked up from his lock-picking and whispered to the two before going back to work. If there was one thing he could give UA credit for, it was the locks they placed on all the rooms. The damn thing had broken 3 of the other rakes he had, and this was his last shot. Snap. The jingle of a twisted end snapping off and falling to the floor made Izuku groan in defeat. Welp, that was my last one. Did you two think of anything that won't get us in trouble? The two looked away from their friend. The red carpet that lined the halls suddenly was a lot more interesting. Okay then, anything that might get us in trouble but will still work? Now that they could answer. You could always sneak in through the window, Ochako suggested, smiling as if it wasn't a crime. Uraraka, that's breaking and entering. Izuku seemed almost alarmed at the suggestion, but it wasn't off the table. Not if it's taking care of a friend, Todoroki's dull voice interjected, rising to his feet alongside Ochako. Nope, still breaking and entering. At least in Japan it is. Naturally, Izuku knew Japan's law books front and back, considering he'd been wanted for mass murder only a few months ago. Then you're doing a wellness check. Yep, checking how well he is at decorating. He contemplated it for a moment. If he didn't get caught, it would be okay, right? I won't tell if you don't. Izuku inched his way across the side of the Heights Alliance building, winter night winds whipping at his flushed cheeks. He had his entire back pressed against the wall, Black Whip acting like a harness just in case he fell. Finally making it to the balcony railing, Izuku hoisted himself over and blew into his hands. Alrighty, let's see that Christmas spirit, Hitoshi. Wiping away the frost from the window, Izuku couldn't believe his eyes in the room. The entire room was barren of all holiday wonders. No cookies or candy, not a single fairy light or ornament, and absolutely no tacky Santa merchandise. Even the pile of candy canes Izuku had been giving him looked grey in his room. Well, this just won't do. There's no sign for Santa to come through. He stands on the balcony for a moment before having the greatest idea ever, even better than coining shoot style. He must share his brilliant plan. Candy Cane Man and Gumdrop Girl sat on the floor of Izuku's room, waiting for the boy to come back from his little journey. It was peaceful, the soft tune of Christmas music from Todoroki's phone filling the room. Well, it was peaceful, until Izuku slammed his face against the windows with a startling bang. Hey guys, I've got it! Recovering from her mini heart attack, Ochako gave him a look when he opened the door. What, Bonebreaker? It took Izuku a moment to realize what she'd called him. What if... Hey! He quickly jumped back into his cheery tone. What if we did this Santa style? He gave some jazz hands as Todoroki looked at him with confusion. Like breaking in, leaving things, then getting out without anyone knowing? He was still new to the Christmas traditions. Yeah! Shoto looked up with the same look he had before when correcting Ochako's ideas. Izuku. The boy was quick to cut him off. Now, before you say it, it's technically not breaking and entering if we're... Izuku quickly walked to his closet and pulled out a Santa costume and 2 elves, dressed for the occasion. Even if he was concerned about his friends getting charged with a felony, again, the costumes had him pretty intrigued. Pretty sure it still is, but continue. Ochako looked at the still packaged costumes he held. They looked new, like bought last night kind of new. Do we want to know why you have those? Izuku handed out the costumes and looked back towards his friends. 4 a.m. pain medicine purchases. Now, go get dressed and wait outside his room. I'll go in from the window and open the door from there. With no reason to object, the two took the costumes and headed to their dorms, while Izuku began to make his way back over to Hitoshi's. It was easier this time round, much better with the long white beard and big red jacket to protect him from the cold. With his hands on the knob, Izuku made a small prayer to All Might that the door was unlocked. Bingo. Nudging the door open quietly, Izuku tiptoed his way through the room. It was time to get festive. Hitoshi was happy as a clam sleeping in, the dorms vacant of all their usual chatter and noise. He didn't get opportunities like this often. Ever since moving in with Class 1A, he began to learn how friendly they were, always inviting him to dinner and movie nights and throwing him into conversations. A specific green-haired boy was truly determined to hang out with him, constantly sending him silly cat memes about friendship. Bingo. A high-pitched voice awakened him from his joyous slumber along with the loud chime of bells. Looking in the direction of the noise, Hitoshi watched as an extremely short and thin Santa entered his room with a large sack over his shoulder. What the hell? His brain couldn't exactly pinpoint what was happening, sleep grasping his head. And so, for 20 minutes in a sleep-stalled state, Hitoshi watched as Santa went around his room, placing string lights that kept coming from his pockets onto the floor. Finally realizing that a stranger is in my room, Hitoshi sat up in attention. Santa? The figure dressed as Santa stopped in his tracks, the glowing lights in his hands waving around a little. In a slow turn, Izuku faced the corner of the room with the fake beard wrapped up in lights. 2 white pupils stared back with hostility. Being so wrapped up in the fact that this was probably illegal, they had forgotten to make sure Hitoshi wasn't in his room. Ho, ho, ho? The voice was unsure and small, but extremely familiar to a certain freckled-faced boy. Focusing on his tired eyes, the colourful lights gave structure to the outline of Izuku's face. Izuku, what the hell are you doing in my room? Hitoshi was less surprised by the young hero in his room, and more disappointed about his ruined slumber. Izuku's hands pulled at each other, desperately trying to think of a plausible excuse. Would you believe me if I said I was the ghost of Christmas past? No. Present? Nope. Future? Nada. His eyes searched around the room for some form of excuse, settling on one not even he would believe. What about a Christmas stripper sent by our classmates? Eyes widening in the attempt, he was quick to shoot it down. Absolutely not. Izuku slumps down in defeat, the jingle of bells following his every movement. How the hell did you even get... Hitoshi shivered a little, feeling the hairs on his arms rise. Looking over, he saw his balcony door peeking open, a few snowflakes making their way inside. From the Santa suit to the door, Hitoshi was quick to piece it all together. Did you break into my dorm? Crossing his arms, Izuku looked away from his friend. You refused to put up any Christmas decorations. What choice did we have? Standing next to the shut door, Hitoshi made note of his classmate's word choice. We. Face flushing bright red, Izuku realized he'd been caught. Oh, A loud whisper from the dorm door cuts them off. Midoriya, have you got in yet? We have the decorations. They stare at each other, and Hitoshi's disappointed eyes bore into him like 2 steel rods. He wasn't entirely focused on the situation, sleep still trying to pour its way back, but he could tell how much Izuku cared, how much he wanted to actively be Hitoshi's friend, so he felt a compromise was in order. "Let me sleep in your room while you do your thing, and I'll let you." Throwing up one of his fists, Izuku cheered. "Yes! I swear you won't regret this!" The two made their way to the door before Hitoshi stared into Izuku's eyes. "One rule, no glitter." With a smile that seemed slightly more excited, Izuku chuckled. "I can't promise that." Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Ella, and I hope you're having a lovely day today. This was such a cute fic. I just love Izuku and Todoroki and Ochako being like, "Yes, we are the Christmas fiends and we will make you celebrate." Just forcibly making themselves be friends with Hitoshi. I just think it's really adorable. But what did you think? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. You could also like the video, if you did like it, and to boost my serotonin levels. You could also subscribe to be notified whenever I make new videos, which, is every day at the moment for Figmas, which I guess is kind of almost over. It's going to be over in the next week, which is kind of mad. You could also join the Discord server. I'll have that linked in the description below. It's a great big family over there, and it's really nice. Also, I kind of guess I did a bit of a stupid and didn't even really realise yesterday that yesterday's upload was the 100th video. So, I mean, I guess I'm not doing anything for it then, but that was a thing. Kind of mad. I can't believe I made 100 videos. Ugh, wow. Kind of crazy that I just picked this up as just a fun little hobby of thing that I would do, and here I am. Kind of crazy, but that yeah, kind of overwhelming. But until I see you again, be sure to practice some self-care. Go to bed on time, because getting sleep is important, and so is eating your 5 a day, because you need the nutrients and the vitamins. Potassium is good if you're gonna eat some bananas and stuff. I like strawberries and apples and oranges and peaches. What are your favourite fruits? You should also drink some water, because hydration is really important. It's good for you, so you better be hydrating out there, folks. Because that's a threat. I will see you guys laters.